the Pleasant Grove City Council on this Tuesday, July the 15th, 2025, and welcome everyone here. We have 4 council members present. One is away on family vacation, so we excuse him. And we have most of our directors here and other city staff, and we welcome the general public that have joined us here and remotely this evening. We'll start out by a pledge of allegiance by Councilmember Jensen, after which we'll have opening remarks by Councilmember Lamone.
Audience, please rise. Repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity we have to gather tonight as community members and leaders to be able to make decisions on behalf of our residents at this time. We thank Thee for our staff and for the hours that they put into making our quality of life better here in Pleasant Grove. We thank Thee for our citizens and their willingness to let us lead and serve them. And we hope and pray that we can lead by example and be able to have an open mind and open heart as we make decisions on their behalf. Please bless that we can go throughout the night being able to have constructive conversations regarding these items and being able to make decisions that are best for now and in the future. We love Thee. We say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, Eric and Sid. We'll now move to item number 4, approval of tonight's meeting agenda. I don't think there's any changes. No changes.
Mayor, I'll
So
make a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda.
we have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Jensen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now move to number 5, our open session this evening, and invite anybody to come forward and address the council this time. I just want to clarify if it's pertaining to one of our public hearings this evening that you wait till then. But if not, we now open our open session for our public to come forward. Welcome, Denise.
Hi, Denise Trickler. I am representing the Historic Preservation Commission right now, and on Monday, this coming Monday, the 21st, we're having our next sidewalk tour, and it will be on 200 South, and starting at 7 p.m., and we will be starting in the front of the historical marker that's at 455 East and 200 South, and we would love to have you join us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Scott, can you put that on our? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? I see no one coming forward, so we'll now close our open session and bring it back up to the council and move on to item number 6. Our consent items this evening consist of different construction projects throughout the city that you've reviewed, and also our payment approval reports and our city council minutes A to I. So with that, I ask for a motion for our consent items.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent items as listed on the agenda tonight.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You've got E.
We have no board or commission or committee appointments this evening scheduled or presentations.
Sorry, did we just?
So we just did the.
Sorry, I like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like, okay.
I even had it marked. I wasn't thinking, so I need to recuse myself from the voting because I'm related to the applicant on item E under the consent agenda items, A Wolf Construction, so I won't.
So noted.
She won't consent
Recuse.
on E.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't need to make a new motion, do we, Tina? You just note it.
I was all ready for that.
Okay.
I got your back.
We have 4 public hearings this evening, so we'll move on to 9A, a public hearing to consider ordinance 2025-013, adjusting the common boundary with the city of Cedar Hills, Utah, for property located at 461 1100 North, 900 West, and including properties located at 4476, 4511, 4545, 4552, 4578, 4606, 4621, and 4634 Wedgewood Drive, and the property located at 9894 North, 4100 West, Pleasant Grove. The applicant is Dan and Karen Stewart, and we'll turn the time over to our General Counsel, Tina.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you can see on the map, we received a request from Dan and Karen Stewart, who are at 4611 North, 900 West in Pleasant Grove. They are currently on a septic system, and they would like to get sewer services. Cedar Hills has a sewer line in 900 West. And so they made a boundary adjustment request to boundary adjust into the city of Cedar Hills. As you can see by the map, if we let the Stewarts go to Cedar Hills, it creates an island of all of those properties on Wedgewood Drive. And islands are problematic for municipalities, for services, etc. They're strictly prohibited in the state code when you're annexing unincorporated areas. The code is silent when we're doing mutual boundary adjustments between cities, but it's still a unpreferred option. So therefore, the other properties in yellow on the map are also being proposed to be boundary adjusted into Cedar Hills out of the city of Pleasant Grove. One thing you will notice is PG City owns a piece of property at the north end of that proposed area. We have a well there. Our Public Works Director has indicated that it's not a problem for him to have the well located outside the city boundaries. We would still have access to it, and we could still service it as we needed to. We provided personal notice to everyone on North Wedgewood Drive there. All of those addresses have received a letter stating that the city intended to make this boundary adjustment. You adopted a resolution on May 6th of this year indicating your intent to adjust the boundaries. And tonight is the final step in that process. The residents had a 60-day protest period. We have not received any notice of protest from any of the property owners. However, the state code does allow them to register their protest tonight during the public hearing and still be a valid protest. If there are no protests and the council deems that they would like to approve the ordinance, you can take action tonight. If anyone does file a protest, I would ask that you make a motion to continue this item and give us an opportunity to evaluate any protests that are lodged this evening.
What, are they receiving all services right now from Pleasant Grove, or are we doing a shared interlocal within any of them with Cedar Hills?
No, they're receiving services from us.
Oh.
However, there is is it the sewer line that goes? There's the sewer line. We have a Pleasant Grove City sewer line in Wedgewood Drive. We put that in and paid that money. But it is connected to a Cedar Hills sewer line in order to get it out to where it needs to go. Does that make sense? Yeah, we don't have one in 900.
That's where,
Right. And that's why the necessity to boundary adjust if they want sewer services. And as of yet, we still do not have a shared service agreement with Cedar Hills regarding that. Okay.
Can I add also that switching the services on the culinary water side is advantageous for Cedar Hills and the residents who live there for both water quality and redundancy. We have a dead end line. For Cedar Hills, it would be a looped line
On culinary,
on culinary.
Yeah,
We do not provide PI service through there.
right, okay.
we don't do PI.
Right, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Council, any other questions? If not, we'll now open our public hearing on ordinance 2025-013, adjusting the common boundary, and ask anybody to come forward and address the council at this time. And just state your name
Good evening. My name is Karen Stewart. I'm the driver for this public hearing. And so as you can see, and Councilman Jensen, you were familiar with this area, and maybe Councilwoman Sidlamone as well. There's been issues in the past, but now it's my turn. And so here we are. And just to let you know that our home was built in 1980, and there's a movie Cars where there's a line that says, the land that Public Works forgot. And that's kind of what it seems like. And the county told me recently that they say it's a cherry stem for that. And so they're correcting all of these things. So I first reached out to Neil July 28th, and he was incredible, which led me to Scott, who's worked tirelessly on this. And my real champion is Attorney Peterson. Sorry, I got emotional, but she's really been out there, you know, for the cause and for me, and I thank her for that. And no, you can't ever retire, ever. Amen to that.
Amen.
Yeah, so I want you to know, though, that the Wedgewood residents behind me, I haven't tried to influence in any way. They're good people, and they're my friends. And so here we are for this, and we'll just see how it goes. It's been interesting to have your septic fill, because then you have to pump it. It comes up in your basement. You don't know if you have enough disinfectant, and so this will be something that we'd really be happy to resolve and to be able to have our family come over again. So I appreciate all of the staff that's helped us and for this council, and I thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your patience on this too. So anyway, anyone else like come forward? I see no one else coming forward. So we'll now close our open session and bring it back up to the council for further discussion, and we will be able to make a motion on this item this evening.
I think, Scott Artini, I think you mentioned that this will then go before Cedar Hill City Council in 3 weeks or so?
Yes, we specifically wanted to hold our public hearings on separate evenings to give the residents a chance to appear at both if they chose. And just the way Cedar Hill's scheduling worked out, and they're noticing they had to go after us, so.
It actually might work out, gives them more time. Right?
Yeah, so it won't become final until both cities adopt an ordinance, and then we send the new municipal boundaries to the state to be adjusted formally there, so.
We've reviewed internally. This makes a lot of sense. I don't see any reason why we would not approve this. So I'm going to make a motion, Mayor, to approve ordinance 2025-013, adjusting the common boundary with the city of Cedar Hills for the property located at 4611 North, 900 West, and including properties at 4476, 4511, 4545, 4552, 4578, 4606, 4621, 4634 Wedgewood Drive, and property located at 9894 North, 4100 West, Pleasant Grove, Utah.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams, a second by Councilmember Jensen, and this will be a roll call vote, and we'll start out with Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Now move on to our second public hearing, 9B, a public hearing to consider a resolution 2025-027 of the governing body of Pleasant Grove City authorizing the mayor to sign a development agreement with Beehive Hospitality PG LLC and with Graham Capital LLC developers regarding the hotel flex space development located approximately 1879 West State Street, Pleasant Grove, Utah, providing for zoning for the flex space portions and the hotel development and other related matters. And we'll turn the time over to Director Cardenas.
Mayor, Council, so what we have in front of us is an agreement or a deal that the city is making with Beehive Hospitality and Wolfram Capital. And it's for the subdivision, the parcel that we did or that we approved as the city council. And I say we, I'm not part of the city council, but I presented but that the city council approved last meeting, where it was the subdivision of the land, this land that I'm pointing right here in my mouse, what it used to be Battle Creek Development, just behind CC Bank, south of State Street. And if we remember, what we did was to subdivide the land and to approve a site plan. So the site plan was for a hotel. The land was subdivided, however, into 2 lots. The lot in the north will be occupied by the hotel, and the lot on the south right now is under the Grove Commercial Sales, the same as the hotel. But this development agreement, or this deal that we're doing with the developer, is that if this is developed, if the north property is developed for a hotel that provides a type of sales tax, transient tax, and sales tax to the city, then the bottom portion or the south portion could be developed into the Grove Business Park Overlay Zone. The Grove Business Park Overlay Zone is kind of like the zone that applies on the Grove that allows for flex space, a type of flex space, not every flex space. Not all manufacturing is permitted, but specific uses that, for example, storage is one of them, and other flex space uses are permitted under this Grove Business Park Overlay Zone. Again, there's a trigger that we put in this agreement, something that is very important, that we said that this south portion or the south parcel cannot obtain a building permit to build that flex space building until first the building permit is obtained for the hotel and footings and foundations are constructed, all the way to the second inspections for the footings and foundations. So once the footings and foundations for the hotel are being inspected for a second time and found that they passed the inspection and we have the frame already to build the hotel, until then the applicant or the developer can apply for a building permit to develop the south property. So the hotel first, and then the flex space building on the south. At this point, we already have a approved site plan. So we know where the hotel is gonna go. We know where the trees are gonna go. We know where the pool, the access, everything. We don't have a site plan yet because the developer is working first in the hotel, making sure he's gonna obtain a building permit, build the foundations, and after that, then they can apply to get the flex space on the south. Okay? That's what I have, Mayor and Council.
Any questions for Daniel? That's a tough piece of property to, so thank you for working with them on there, Daniel.
My pleasure, Mayor. I think the developer is believing in Pleasant Grove City, is believing that we're open for business. We've been working on this for quite some time, and it's a project that we can take pride in it.
Is anybody here from Beehive? Would you like to come forward and address before we open the public hearing?
Dylan Hutchins, representing Beehive Hospitality and Wolfgram Capital. We've been working with the city and city staff on this for a while now, and this development agreement with Daniel and his team, as well as Tina. And we look forward to this opportunity to help bring a hotel to the city. And we think this agreement benefits both us as the developer as well as the city of Pleasant Grove getting a hotel here. So I remember last meeting a couple of you saying this is a perfect site for a hotel, and we agree. So yeah, if there's any questions or anything about
Looks good.
the agreement, be
Good.
happy to answer any of those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll now open our public hearing. Invite anybody to come forward and address the council regarding this public hearing. I see no one coming forward, so we'll now close our public hearing and bring it back up to the council for a motion on resolution 2025-027.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve a resolution 2025-27 as read by you.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen,
And I'll second it.
and we have a second by Councilmember Anderson. And we will start out with Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now move on to our next public hearing, 9C, a public hearing to consider ordinance 2025-014 at the request of St. John's Property to amend the city code section 10-14-24-1-C-2, permitted principal uses in the Grove Commercial Sales Subdistrict by modifying the provisions and requirements for permitted principal uses within the Grove Commercial Sales Subdistrict to permit use 6250, apparel of repair, alteration and cleaning, pickup services, shoe repair services, and we will turn the time over to Director Cardenas.
Mayor, Council, thank you so much for introduction. What the applicant is, the applicant for this item is St. John's Properties, and what they're proposing is to amend the city code to add a new permitted use into the permitted uses in the zone, okay? So every zone that we have right there in the city, every color has its own table of permitted uses and conditional uses in some cases. And what the applicant is proposing is to alter that list by adding one extra use. So the zone that we're talking about, again, for reference, this is the interchange. The State Street runs right here. The zone that we're changing or we're amending is this zone that kind of looks like salmon color. That's a color, salmon color?
Salmon?
Salmon.
You
You
can
know,
say-
it's spelled with an L,
It's,
so
yeah, forget the L.
from time to time we gotta remember where I'm coming from.
You're doing great.
You know, there's a word, island. For years, I call it island, because there's an island right in. Anyway, so going back to the topic. So we have that salmon color right there, and that's the Grove Sales Subdistrict. Again, to the list of uses. Now, I'm gonna show you how my table looks when we add a use. For example, we're adding, what the applicant is proposing is to add 6250. So 6250 includes 6251, 6252, 6253, 54, and 56, okay? The name of the use is apparel repair, and is what is right here underlined, but the uses that will be permitted will be pressing alteration, garment repair, laundry, and dry cleaning pickup services only, okay? I think that's the one that the applicant is most interested, but he also wants all of those uses to be permitted. Fur repair and storage, shoe repair, shoe shining, and hat cleaning. I can take my hats right there finally, get some clean, and locker rental, locker clubs, okay? So those are the uses that will be permitted. Some of them are pretty old. I'm sure that this list was done way in the past, but anyway, those are the uses that will be permitted in the zone. The use that the applicant is most interested in is the laundry and dry cleaning pickup services only, though. It's not a laundromat. It's not like you go and put your coins and is where you go, drop off your laundry, and they do some dry cleaning and they do the laundry for you. Then you go later on and pick it up.
But they're not dry cleaning on site. They are dry
They
cleaning.
are,
Okay.
yeah. It will permit it to do dry cleaning on site, correct.
Okay.
So
And I
that's
think our big question is locker rental, locker club.
we discussed that during Planning Commission for quite some time. A commissioner enlightened us and tell us that some cases people will do like rent a little area, just a locker or it will be a cold locker or something to storage. I don't know in the past what they will storage, whatever. However, nowadays, if you just go to a gas station, that one that we have right here behind the wall of gas station, we have a huge locker room for Amazon. So they go and actually drop off their packages right there. Then
got
you
it.
go get the key, open it, and kind of like a mail type of situation right there. But there is a small locker where you can actually pick up products from online companies. Okay. So, yes, Mayor?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, maybe, everybody needs to have a locker from their spouse or whatever, what they don't.
They can lock themselves away from their
Well,
self.
or whatever.
I'll
they-
use it to
their
lock my
stash
hats
is, I
that need
guess.
some
Yeah,
cleaning
their
right there. So.
stash.
Anyway,
Got it.
so we present that to Planning Commission. Again, that use will be is not permitted at this point anywhere in this salmon color zone, the commercial sales subdistrict, And by adding this, then it will be a permitted use in the zone. Again, St. John Properties is the applicant. I think the applicant is here in the public, so if we have some questions for him, we can go ahead and ask it. But for staff, that's all I have to do, Mayor. Oh, I presented this item to the Planning Commission. We discussed it, and it was a unanimous recommendation of approval. Okay?
Any other
you, Mayor.
questions for Daniel?
Nope.
Not, does St. John's, does Marty, do you want to come and address the council there?
Wendy,
We always like
put
you
a
to come
Put
forward.
a timer on that one? No.
Sounds like a steakhouse coming.
I'm gonna ask, can I ask him?
Well, let's keep it to this. Let's
All
keep
right.
it to the public
All
hearing.
right. I wanna know what we're digging out there that I get
Great.
to watch. We'll talk
No,
about that later.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk through that. But yeah, we're trying to add a few uses here that are not currently allowed in that area. Just like to keep that open and look at the tenant pool as open as we can. This is a good use that we feel would be very applicable down in this area and useful. So lockers is a good question, but even with dry cleaning, if you look at that, some of them have a drop-off after-hours lockers
Yeah.
that they put their dry cleaning stuff in, and you can come and pick it up after hours and things of that nature. So
Yeah,
it makes
makes
sense to
sense.
have it, even though it's not something very common. But like Dana said, the Amazon packages and other things like that, they're usually a small piece, maybe of a bigger type building. It's not going to be a whole building of lockers, but maybe something small like that. So.
Okay, any question?
No, I'm excited about the clothing alteration, the shoe repair. Those are all things that I've traveled way too far to get to have those services.
Left the door for a few of those other businesses.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll make a motion.
Well, no,
Oh.
we haven't had our public
Oh,
hearing yet.
you're right.
Thanks, Marty. We'll now,
I thought Marty was our public.
well, he may be. We'll now open our public hearing and invite anybody to come forward and address the council at this time. I don't see anybody coming forward, so we'll now close our public hearing and bring it back up to the council for further discussion or a motion on ordinance number 2025-014.
Okay, I'd love to make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-014 as read and discussed.
We have a motion from Councilmember Anderson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Jensen. And we will start out with Councilmember Williams this time.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now move to our last public hearing this evening, 9D, a public hearing to consider ordinance 2025-015 at the request of Page Westover to amend City Code Section 1013D-3-E, conditional uses in the rural commercial overlay, RCO zone by amending and qualifying the provisions for use number 5811 restaurants. And this is back to Director Cardenas.
Thank you, Mayor. So in English, we don't say the L for salmon or the S from island. Mussel is spelled completely different. Some say I think I'm gonna make it to 60. If I make 60, and I'm still learning the language.
Daniel, we could change that color so it's not salmon.
Chartreuse.
We could pick a color that's a little bit more
Periwinkle.
contrast.
Is that periwinkle? It's a color like that? Yeah.
Pick your own color. We don't have to do salmon.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mayor and Council, what we have in front of us is another code text amendment. Okay, now, we're not trying to add a use. What we're trying to do right here, what the applicant is proposing, is to modify the qualifying provisions for an already permitted use in the zone, okay? So we're gonna talk about a overlay zone that is called the RCO, or the Rural Commercial Overlay, okay? So we have an overlay, a rural commercial overlay, that we apply for properties to allow them to do some commercial uses in a residential zone. So the base zone, the original zone, could be single family, it could be rural residential, it could be R120, it could be any zone. And then when we apply this overlay, then we allow in the zone, we allow in the property to run commercial uses on the property. Right now, in Pleasant Grove City, we have 2 properties with the RCO overlay. Okay, we have what we know as Stonegate. Okay, Stonegate. That's the reason why they can run certain activities and do some commercial uses on Stonegate. And we also have Snug Farms right here on 1100 North. So we have those 2 properties where the RCO is applied. Again, they're in the middle of a residential zone, but because this overlay is applied to these 2 properties, they can run commercial uses, okay? Now, about 4 or 5 years ago, we added a new use, which was restaurants. We had a city council meeting and a public hearing, and the owner of Stonegate proposed to add restaurants to it. Now, we didn't add it as just as a straight permitted use. The way we added it was as a conditional use. So if we go to the list of uses permitted in the zone, we can see right here, use 5811, which is a restaurant, has a number 1 right here, and that number 1 says, in order for a restaurant to be permitted in the zone, these conditions need to be met. And the conditions that need to be met are the restaurants could only be on properties fronting 2600 North, that the parcel or the area or the lot where the restaurant will be had to be at least 2 acres, and that they need to provide appropriate parking and access to the property. So those were the conditions that we imposed, okay? So now if we go back to it, if someone comes and submits an application to do a restaurant on 2600 and they meet those 3 conditions, of course it's in 2600, that's condition 1. Condition 2 is they have 2 acres of land, and condition 3 that they provide ample parking and the correct parking required for the restaurant, then they can have a restaurant on 2600, okay? However, the same overlaid is here on 1100 North, okay? And if someone comes and applies for a restaurant, the answer is gonna be no, because one of those conditions are not met. The condition that is not met is that restaurants can only be on 2600 North. So what the applicant is proposing is to change that and now saying 2600 North and 1100 North, okay? So in order to get, to meet one of those conditions, to apply the use of restaurants into the property, okay? I present this item to the Planning Commission, Mayor, I was there. We presented it, the Planning Commission took their time, they reviewed the application, they remember, some of them were here still when we add the use of restaurants in 2600. They studied it and they forward a unanimous recommendation of approval to modify the requirements to permit restaurants not only on 2600 North for the RCO, but also on 1100 North, okay? That's what I have, Mayor and Council.
Any other questions for Daniel?
Did I say that the recommendation was unanimous? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Daniel.
My pleasure, Mayor.
I see Paige Westover's here. Do you want to come forward and maybe explain to us your vision on your restaurant?
Yes, Paige Westover. Thank you I'm owner-operator of Snug Farm. And thank you for your time and hearing my perspective here. So what we're trying to do here really is just continue doing what we've already been doing. So currently we are allowed with our residential ag overlay to farm and to continue to grow food for the community. And with that overlay, we're able to sell the food that we grow. With our residential commercial overlay, we are able to sell other things, have events, workshops, the other things that we do. However, one thing we're not able to do is take the food we grow, prepare it in our commercial kitchen, and then sell it to the public. We're currently already doing that, but we would like to be in compliance with the city and our zoning and so this is an effort to do that. And also already, this is another thing that would allow us, we are expanding our farm shop just a smidge to allow for a little bit more space inside and so that people can gather easier year-round to sit down. So we are already preparing food. People are already eating it on site because that is what people want. People want to come to a farm. They want to see it. They want to be in touch with that part of themselves and their heritage and our city's heritage. And as we know from your maps, that we don't have a lot of that space left anymore. So adding this restaurant component would allow us to continue operating in the manner that we are already operating, and giving us just a little bit more freedom to do more things with the food that we are already growing on site, and allowing more people to come in a safe way, that we have plenty of parking. We've shown, that's the other thing I wanted to point out, is that we have shown, we've been ahead of a lot of the requirements as far as parking goes. We created a parking lot because we were having a lot of people come and park on the street. We didn't feel that it was safe, and so we added a bunch of parking stalls, even though we didn't necessarily have to. And also, we make it beautiful. Everything we do has been in service to the community and is appealing, and we want people to come and enjoy a farm, and a farm that's been here since the beginning of this town. So, any questions for me?
Thank you, Paige.
Yes.
With that, we'll now open our public hearing and invite anybody to come forward and address the council this time. I see no one coming forward, so we'll now close our public hearing and bring it back up to the council for further discussion or a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion for approval of ordinance 2025-15 at the request of Paige Westover to amend City Code Section 1013D-3-E conditional uses in the rural commercial overlay RCO zone by amending the qualifying provisions for use 5811 restaurants.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Anderson. And we will start out with Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. That concludes all of our public hearings for this evening, so we'll now move on to our action items this evening. Our first one is 10A. Consider Resolution 2025-028 to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement between Utah County and Pleasant Grove City for the 2025 Recreation Grant to construct the Library Events Pavilion, and turn time over to Director Giles.
Mayor and council, we applied about a month ago for this, and we were approved. This will supplement about $33,000 towards the library event theater or pavilion that we're going to install. And this is just the agreement between us and the county to move forward with that grant.
Any questions for
I do
Dion?
this not different. How big is the pavilion again? Is it about the same size out here?
It's the one that they like, the one that they like now is pretty much the same design as this, but larger.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it'd be like the one downtown right here. Oh, okay.
Be like the one here that we do the Christmas and the concerts and stuff on. Just, it would be larger. Same style, just larger.
So would it be facing
North.
facing north?
Yeah, it would be kind of set down here on the south end by the generator, kind of, but facing north.
Okay.
How to use the slope.
Mm-hmm. Phase 1.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, council? Not ask for a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-028 to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement between Utah County and Pleasant Grove City for the 2025 Recreation Grant to construct the Library Events Pavilion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams, and I have a second from Councilmember Lamone. And we will start out with Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now move on to our next action items, 10B, to consider for Resolution 2025-029, of the governing body of Pleasant Grove City, authorizing the mayor to sign a interlocal cooperative agreement between Utah County, Pleasant Grove City, for road projects located generally at 800 North and another at 680 North, Pleasant Grove City, Utah County, and turn time to our city administrator.
So this is a little bit follow-up from what Neil was showing us in the work session. This is work done through our lobbyists that we've engaged, where they were able to obtain $1 million in road funding. The $1 million is through Utah County, so this agreement is an interlocal agreement with Utah County. The funding will come from them to us. The roads that will be done were the ones that Neil showed us, which was 800 North and 680 North, just off of North County Boulevard. Is there any questions?
Questions? Okay. Not, I ask for a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-029 as read by the mayor.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lamone. And we will start out this time with Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. That, move on to our last item, 10C. Consider an ordinance 2025-016, amending Title 4, Chapter 7, Subsection 2, Sale and Discharge and Possession of Fireworks Restrictions, amending fireworks restricted areas of the city to include public parks, and adjusting the boundaries of the residential areas. And we'll turn the time over to our fire chief.
Mayor, Council, I'm gonna give you a copy of this, and you at least have a copy, you can look at it and refer to it. And we want just our boundaries. I'll show you real quick, This kind of started, I was kind of, like I say, out of town when this kind of started, but it started with that Cedar Hills fire, that going on. We had a couple other small incidents that kind of made us nervous, but with Cedar Hills and the way our city's lines, so kind of confused up that way, we want to get more in line with Cedar Hills so we can be on the same track and know exactly where their lines are and where our lines are. So we changed a few things, so it's a little more easy to understand. We did take a little bit of the, a little more of the neighborhoods out from like 300 East. Used to go up to 500 East and loop from Murdoch. We took that little section out in the middle of there so it's easier to understand. And our concern is just, it's so dry right now. We don't want anything to happen. It doesn't take much for a fire to get going. I mean, the ember shoots up and things take off, and it doesn't take much to get things going. So we readjusted these a little bit. Comes up 1100 North. Instead of going all the way up towards Dalton stuff, it cuts down to 1120 or 1110 there, or 1020 East, cuts up to 5th East and then over to Dalton and 1300 East, straight down to 1500 East. And before it kind of cut up into Cherokee, had these really weird lines. It's really hard to read, kind of hard to enforce. With this new change so fast coming on right now, we're not gonna run out there and try to be citing everybody for all this stuff. We know it's kind of quick and late in the game doing this. So we're gonna be pretty, on the act of just teaching, learning, going through this whole process. And Tina worked with, I think, Cedar Hills and a few other people to get through this, because it's not an easy thing to change sometimes, but being this an emergency, I think, and with the weather, what we're having, we felt it was something that we really need to do and change right now. So now we can know where Cedar Hills is and where we're at, and then for our city to keep it more safe and in that respect. So that's kind of what we're asking for, just to change a few of those boundaries right there.
Any questions for the chief?
Do you have this on your website yet?
We will. I was going to wait till this is over. I got with Lisa.
Yeah, I guess it needs to be approved
Yeah,
first,
I'll have it all out tomorrow. We'll get it. We'll post it everywhere. We're going to have I talked with Chief Larson. We're going to get copies and make sure all the fireworks stands in our city have this. So we'll make sure we'll get it out as much as we can. But we know it's kind of late in the game. But we'll be in a teaching mode. We'll help people out, make sure we don't do this and explain to them. But that's kind of our plan right now.
Well, we've got a good week to, right?
Yeah,
When's the 24th?
they can't. They can only do them 2 days before and 2 days after. They can start selling, but they can only shoot 2 days before. So we have a little bit of time to get out there, but,
Okay, got a
you know,
week.
people get busy, so, yeah,
Okay.
we'll try to get out as much as we can, just so you
So
know.
if it's north of 2600 north,
Yeah, so as it goes past
Then it goes
2600
city-
north,
it-
just where the,
it's Cedar Hills.
yeah, where the canal goes underneath or the
Oh,
trail
yeah.
goes underneath the road there.
Yeah.
It follows that over to Ninth West, and then it goes up that way. Because there's a bunch of kind of weird areas in there that we have city, and so does Cedar Hills. So we just had to make that Ninth West just a straight shot all the way up, is what we're doing,
Okay,
so.
that's good.
I was just going to add one more clarification about that boundary on the west, going out to Ninth West. The state code requires that we do it with major roads, and there wasn't a road that went from Pleasant Grove up north through that area consistently until you get to Ninth West. So it's probably a little wider than what we actually need it to be, but in order to be compliant with the state code with regard to descriptions, we had to use that main road of 900 West. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. Any other questions for the chief? If not, I ask for a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-015 at the request of, no, sorry, to consider the ordinance of 2025-016, amending Title 4, Chapter 7, subsection 2, sale, discharge, and possession of fireworks restrictions, amending fireworks restricted areas of the city to include public parks and adjusting the boundaries of the restricted areas.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Jensen. And we will start out with Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
And Mayor, I know we're getting close, but I've got to run.
Okay, you're excused.
Thanks.
We're now finished with our action items this evening, and we've finished all of our work session items and reports, and we'll just review our calendar with our city administrator real quick.
Just a reminder that the month of July has 5 Tuesdays, and so our next meeting won't be for 3 weeks, which will be August 5th. So for August, we will be regular schedule, first and third Tuesday for council meetings.
Okay.
That will also be the same in September and October. August 7th has been mentioned from Megan is Summerbration, 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I've sent you an appointment for that for your calendars. That's at Downtown Park. August 11th is our city swim party at the swim pool. That's at 6 o'clock.
You said August 11th?
August 11th, it's a Monday.
It's on our calendars.
And I think I've sent that for your calendar too. So that's, we'll be doing dinner, that's for families. So any employees and their families are welcome to join us, and then we'll have the use of the swim pool that evening. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Question for Scott.
Oh, go ahead.
Scott,
Yeah.
with when we redid our website, I know we had everything feed into a universal calendar. Do we have that on the flip side for the intranet for the employees or us? That everyone, like, let's say rec puts in a calendar item and then library does. Does that all feed into one general calendar that we can all look at and see that there's no conflicts or anything like that?
So I'll defer to Sierra, who is overseeing our
Okay,
website
Sierra.
on that question.
Yeah, I think that's something we're looking at. We're trying to work with Revise, the website company right now to kind of custom make a page.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked about a calendar on there, so I think the intention is to have.
Okay, okay.
You're referring to a certain incident where we had a
No, it's just,
miscommunication.
I think we talked about it when we were redoing the website, and that was one of the pluses of that,
Yeah.
not only for the public, but for employees and for council and mayor to have a universal calendar that we could look at.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody else have anything, questions for the staff?
I just had a question for Scott. Where are we at with the test out remodel? It seems like it's kind of stalled in that spot on Main Street.
They're finishing up. I
Oh,
mean,
are they?
Yeah.
I thought there was still like plywood and stuff there. Oh,
No, I think they've got the storefront. And, yeah.
oh. Okay, they do. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Storefront's cleaned up, but they haven't taken the fencing down.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Okay.
Working with the color of brick.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Downtown zone has very specific colors and schemes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the color of brick that was approved for during the design review board, they're struggling getting it. So we're trying to
Oh, okay.
figure out different color of brick.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
Continue building.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
They're getting close.
Anything else, council? Sid, do you have anything for Diana?
No.
Eric? Hey, It's July and it's hot, and enjoy the rest of the month there. And anyway, so with that, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Anderson. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?